So Donald Trump is continuing his very humiliating media tour following his conviction in New York State on 34 felony charges. He had his speech at Trump Tower the other day where he was rambling, he was getting confused, he looked very lost. And then today, he had a Fox News interview. He sat down with like 3 of their hosts and answered some questions. And the interview went really poorly for him, not only because his answers are always really bad, but the interview was edited in such a way that shows that they were making like very quick jumps, because even Fox News knows that Donald Trump's rambling answers show that this is not a man that's fit to serve, and they're kind of doing his bidding. They're like an arm of the Trump campaign, as they've always been. But just some of his answers in here are either just straight lies or just very concerning. So I'm going to show you some clips from this interview. We'll talk about them a little bit, and we'll go from there. So the first clip I want to show you is Donald Trump just telling a very brazen lie about his campaigns in 2016 and 2020. Take a look.
I want to follow up on what Rachel asked you, though, because I hear you struggling with it. I hear you say it's a tough question, a bit unsure. You famously said regarding Hillary Clinton, lock her up. You declined to do that as president.
I beat her. It's easier when you win. And they all said lock her up. And I felt, and I could have done it, but I felt it would have been a terrible thing. And then this happened to me. And so I may feel differently about it. I can't tell you, I'm not sure I can answer the question. Hillary Clinton, I didn't say lock her up, but the people would all say lock her up, lock her up. Okay, then we won. And I said pretty openly, I say, all right, come on, just relax, let's go. We gotta.
So a couple of things here, although I have a feeling that you might be already ahead of the jump. Number one, he could not just lock up Hillary Clinton. That's not how the United States works. I'm not sure if he knows that. He should if he wants to be president. But that's not quite how the country works or the Justice Department works. But also, did he really just claim that he's never said lock Hillary Clinton up? Did he really just say that? You know what? I'll stop right here. Take a look at this clip of Donald Trump rallying in Georgia saying lock her up. Take a look.
I'll tell you something, though. It's very lock them up. You shouldn't lock them up. Lock up the Bidens. Lock up Hillary. Lock them up. Can you imagine?
Yeah, and that was like a double whammy. Not only did he say lock Hillary Clinton up, but he also said lock the Bidens up, plural, as meaning his whole family, which is nonsense. But that is just such a lie. He's like really trying to rewrite history with all this conviction stuff. You know, people are pointing out how in 2016 he said a convicted felon or somebody under a criminal investigation, under felony indictment, should not run for president, that they should be disqualified. It would send the country into constitutional chaos, right? And that, you know, they should be locked up. Hillary Clinton should be locked up, Obama, Biden, whatever. And now they're using his own words against him. And he's like, you know what? Actually, I just didn't say it. No, I never said that. I was never of that view. I didn't like make my whole campaign about it. I didn't sell merchandise with it or promote it or shout it out at rallies. No, I didn't do that. He is such a lying narcissist that things like this, which is so easily disprovable, we all saw it. We all saw it with our own eyes, heard it with our own ears, and he's like, no, I didn't say it. No, I just didn't. Nope, wrong. And then the MAGA crowd will be like, you know what? Exactly right. Donald Trump never tried to weaponize his Department of Justice. Here's a headline from Politico during his presidency. Donald Trump asked Bill Barr, his attorney general at the time, quote, where are all of the arrests of his political opponents? Where are all the arrests? So, you know, spare me. Please spare me for all these MAGA people saying Donald Trump never did it. He tried. He really tried. He ran on it. He said it. He advocated for it. He fundraised off it. Please spare me the moral high ground that they're trying to take here. There is no moral high ground regardless, but they're trying to say, you know what, we care. We care about the justice system, when they really don't. Donald Trump's a convicted felon. They think he shouldn't be held accountable, and now they're using his own words against him, and he doesn't like it. So that's just one of many lies that came from Donald Trump in this interview. But the next clip I want to show you is him just lying, just completely lying about the facts of the case against him in New York State. It's something we've heard from him before, but it's especially egregious in this one. He gets very creative. So take a look at the clip.
I pay a lawyer. He wasn't a fixer. He was a lawyer at the time. I pay a lawyer, and he's a lawyer. It's called legal expense. A bookkeeper, without ever speaking to me because she did the right thing, who's been with me for years, marks it down as legal expense. In other words, I paid a legal expense, it's marked down as a legal expense. And they say that's a fraud. What am I going to call it? Did you ever see a ledger? Do you ever study accounting? The line's like about an inch long and an eighth of an inch wide. You can't write the story. But there is no story. If you pay a legal expense and you write it down as a legal expense.
Yeah, no. That's not what happened at all. He is literally making it up as he did the entire trial. That's why he lost. He was found guilty on all 34 felony counts. But this is completely incorrect. Michael Cohen, who he's referencing, saying he was a lawyer, was not a lawyer. The Trump defense and Trump himself could not present any legal work that Michael Cohen did. They couldn't point to any project or any filings that Michael Cohen worked on during the time period. And if he was really a lawyer, then why was he paying him $35,000 a month, which was jacked up for a bonus, quote unquote? And also, why was Alan Weisselberg and people in Trump's orbit writing down on pieces of paper that was submitted into evidence about the payment arrangement for Michael Cohen? It was not for a retainer. There was never any legal services rendered. They were saying, yeah, this is hush money payment. This is something that they wrote down. And David Pecker testified to this as well. So many different people testified that it obviously was not a legal retainer at all. The documents were clearly falsified. And he's like, no, it was a lawyer. Like, what do you mean? He's lying about the facts of the case. And again, it's just so funny that he's doing this because he is the best. I said this the other day. He is the best and expert at shooting himself in the foot because sentencing is coming up. And you know who has all the power there? The judge. The judge does. That's right, in sentencing. So when Donald Trump walks into that courtroom, he's going to have called the judge a devil. He's going to have lied about the witnesses in the case. He's going to have said that the jury was rigged against him, that it was not fair, and more, showing absolutely no remorse and not even accepting the guilty verdict. And that is something that judges can take into account when they're sentencing. So I can't wait for sentencing taking place on July 11th at 10 a.m. I have it memorized because I think the judge is, just watching right now as to how Donald Trump is responding and lying about the case. And, he's going to make a decision that is appropriate at the time. So the last clip I want to show you is very concerning. Very concerning. He's kind of putting out a call to action to his supporters, and we've seen historically how that has turned out, January 6th. But Donald Trump was asked what would happen if he's sent to jail or sent to house arrest by the judge at sentencing. And, his response was not great. So we'll take a look at it and talk about it in a second.
But so that could happen. I don't know that the public would stand it, I'm not sure the public would stand for it. With a,
if he tried house arrest or
I think it would be tough for the public to take. At a certain point, there's a breaking point.
People ask you, why?
Yeah, a breaking point? The people aren't going to stand for it? This seems like a January 6th 2.0 all over again. Remember in 2020, he said the election was stolen from me, it was stolen from you. We have to take action. He directed people toward the Capitol. Now he's saying, hey, if I'm thrown in jail or given house arrest, which are two appropriate sentences and punishments given the statute that Donald Trump was convicted of 34 times, he's saying, yeah, take action. There's going to be a breaking point, insinuating that there's so much anger around this that people are going to take action and that they won't stand for it. This guy is so unfit to serve. So unfit to serve. He's rallying the base, riling them up against some of our most important institutions in the United States, the rule of law, the justice system, right? He's targeting it with his supporters right now. That's what it is. It's a call to action. He's calling them up. It reminds me of his quote during the 2020 debate to the Proud Boys saying, stand back and stand by. This is another kind of a wink and a nod and an elbow shove from Donald Trump to his supporters saying, hey, if Judge Merchan deems something fit, which is his role, it's his job as judge to do that, then you should take action. This guy is so unfit to serve. He's out of his mind. This is why he can never be in office again, because he's a narcissist. He's a lunatic. He's crazy. He will take down America if it means that he can help himself. And that's the truth. So anyway, this Fox News interview was just such a disaster for Trump. More lies, more conspiracy theories, inciting of action from his supporters. Insanity. And the specific editing they did with like these, jump cuts that they had throughout all of the interview because they know that Donald Trump can't answer a question for more than 30 seconds without talking about an entirely different topic is crazy. They're all working together to hopefully get Trump back into office, and it really is gross. So anyway, I'll leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe down below. It goes such a long way. Also, drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about all this. And as always, I appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.